Hey everybody, and welcome to Lounge TV. I'm Larry.
I'm Joe.
And we're doing a Keeping It Real today.
We're keeping it real, and you're keeping it real with us.
We're keeping it as real as we can.
That's what you need to say. Let's
and
start
you're keeping it real. Hi, I'm Larry.
And I'm Joe. Oh, he forgot Larry's Lounge TV.
I think it was good.
The other TV, yeah. Well, eventually we'll know this intro.
Well, that's news to us.
That's news to us. Thanks for watching.
Today's topic, I have to give a shout out to Sonata or Sonota. I don't know how. That's like tomato, right?
Sonota would be S-O-N-O-T-A. Sonata would be S-O-N-A-T-A, right? Or is that
but
Sonata?
It's a D at the end.
Oh, so it's Sonota then.
Yeah, so.
I don't know why.
I think.
Sonota.
I don't know. But he was saying.
Sonota.
He wanted us to do a Keeping It Real on, getting laid off, losing your job.
I thought you were saying something else. I'm like, what, really?
Yeah. That type of thing. You know, and how do you deal with it? What do you do? Well, it's
so you're saying losing your job, or more like,
or changing your job, or
so like, is it all career based or just life changes?
It was about jobs. That's what he was talking about. But it pretty much is a life change.
Oh, it definitely is.
Right. So it's like
I've gotten laid off before.
I told Joe. I said, you know what? I said we kind of know what this topic is about.
Yeah, it's
a little
good timing to have brought it up right now, especially right now.
Yeah, because I myself, we're closing our shop down, so I am basically changing jobs where I'm going to just concentrate on YouTube, and I'm not going to do something I've done for, let me see, a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah,
like
almost 30 years.
The very full majority of your life.
No, almost 40 years.
Wow, I'm almost 40. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, almost 40 years. And Joe.
Yep.
Just recently changed.
Yeah, switch jobs.
Yeah. So, you know.
So, yeah, it's a big deal.
How do you feel about that, Joe? I mean, like, what? I mean, did you have anxiety? I mean.
Yeah, it's a very tough decision. So for me, a lot of it was timing. A lot of it was, are the benefits going to be better? What are the pros? It's almost like you have to weigh out the pros and cons, right? When you're choosing to switch jobs, I had to weigh out, I had to think of simple things like, okay, I'm not going to have benefits for 30 days. Like, what prescriptions do I need to get refilled beforehand? Or do I need to have anything done and kind of postpone everything? So timing for me was more than anything else. But it's also, I'm making a decision for my entire family, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very stressful. You want to make sure that you're making the right decision. Now, being laid off is a whole different scenario altogether, which I've been there before.
Right.
You're kind of being laid off, right? It's sort of the same thing.
Yeah, except for somebody else that make the decision for me. That's the only thing. It's like most of the time when somebody gets laid off, it's kind of like somebody else.
You're 100%.
The boss said, you know what, we gotta lay you off.
Yeah, it's true. You guys made a decision together, collaboratively, to close the business.
Right.
So yeah, so it's different, but it's the same end result.
It is. But I think if all of a sudden your boss comes up to you and says, we're laying you off, or we're going to, or you're fired. One of those two things. There's going to be a lot of anxiety.
A lot.
I have a belief that, when a door's closed, a window's open. That you'll find a window of opportunity somewhere. I don't, if you concentrate on the door that's closed, you're never going to see the window that's open.
Yeah, because you miss out. You're looking down, you need to look up.
Yeah, so you have to not concentrate. Sure, does it suck? Yeah. Does it give you anxiety? Because, you have to worry about, finding another job. In your case, you had to worry about
different
insurance.
worries. Yeah, different worries. Not just insurance, just to make sure that I was in a situation with my job I wasn't happy. So I was, I found another opportunity fell on my lap that it was a good fit, luckily.
Right.
But it's not always that way. And when you're looking for new jobs, it's you got to make sure that, especially when you're leaving a job that you've been doing for 5 years,
right,
or with a company I've been with for 5 years, you go to another one, it's scary. It's a scary situation because you just don't know if it's going to be the right decision. We
as human beings, I don't think we like change to begin with, most of us. Some people do. Some people love changing it up.
Yeah. I'm not one of those guys.
No, I'm comfortable when I get comfortable in something, obviously, because I worked at the same place. And
yeah, I don't like insurance, dude, but I've been doing it since '04 because I'm comfortable doing it, and I know that I can be successful.
And that brings up a good point, too, because it's like somebody was saying, I think it was in his Sonata or Sonota.
We should say Sonota. Sonota?
Yeah, like soda?
Can we just call him So?
Yeah, what's up, So?
What's up, So?
Or Son.
Son.
Because it's S-O-N, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sonota, yeah.
Yeah, so So I think he brought up in there is like, what was my point now? So you see how we just did a squirrel?
Yeah, I don't remember what you were saying.
We just did that squirrel moment.
Sorry.
Yeah. he brought up in there about how, you know, oh shoot, I can't remember my point now, but it did have something to do with, what was the last thing we said that was important? About
leaving the job or...
now there's
how low did it be? Oh, you missed it, dude.
Hold it, he's on your head.
Yeah. All right, let's focus.
No,
let's regroup.
Yeah, you know, in his case, you know, besides that he's laid off. Oh, I know what it was. I know where I was going. About something that, how do you get into doing something that you love?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Most of the time you don't get to do what you love to.
Oh my!
Very few people ever get to do. Oh, did he sting me?
Did he get you?
Get to do what they love to do in life.
That's true.
And get
for
paid,
a living.
And get paid for a living. Yeah. I mean, we get to do usually
for a full-time living.
Yeah. A lot of times you get to do what you love. Like if you love to like landscape,
or if you have a great job, you can do what you do outside of work because you make tons of money and that you can do whatever you want when you're not working.
But most people don't get paid for doing what they love to do. They don't.
Not in a full-time basis where you can support your entire family.
Right. No. And so what do? It's a matter, to me, it's always been, because I never loved my job. Never. No. I felt always obligated to work for my dad and all that stuff. But I think it's a matter of the way you think. Because I used to always, I remember my dad saying, like, you need to work more hours, blah, 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 because we were real busy. And I told him, I said, Dad, I don't live to work. I work to live. Exactly. And I think that's the mentality you got to look at. It's like, I go there for a paycheck so that I can provide for my family and stuff like that. Not that work is my all-consuming thing.
Now, for some people, they are. There's people that are just so into their job. Yeah. That they just work and work and work and work. And maybe, 20 years down the line, I'm going to be regretting not being those people, because maybe then they'll be like there's people that work now to live later. Right. Problem is tomorrow's not guaranteed. Exactly. Right? That's the issue. Yeah. But there's a lot of people that retire very comfortably. I will not be one of those people.
Right. There's some people that can retire, but
I mean, my dad is 73 and still working.
Yeah, but he doesn't
have to.
Right, but you could do that and then get in a car accident and die when you're 30-some years old or 20-some years old. Yeah. And then
yeah, anytime.
It depends on what you want to do. That's what I think it all comes down to.
Yeah, my dad loves what he does, so I think he's still doing it now. He's pulled back a lot, but he's still doing it now because he just cares so much about education, so he wants to be involved. Right. But people so I've been laid off before. Have you ever been laid off or fired?
No, because actually my dad fired me.
Really? When?
This was a long time ago.
Like when you were a young punk?
Yeah, I was a young punk. Yeah. It was for something stupid.
How long did you get fired for?
2 weeks, I think.
Would you just take 2 weeks off and you started another job?
No, he got us. He hired us back.
Oh, it wasn't just you that got fired.
No, me and Terry.
Both get fired at the same time?
Yeah, Terry was off that day. She just got fired.
That's like they do for Friday.
You want me to tell the story?
I do. I'm very interested.
All right. So what happened was.
Sorry, guys. This is great.
I was supposed to start at I think it was 7 o'clock then in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning. But
in Camden, right? This is bad.
Yeah, and Jackie worked at another place at that point, but with a company that was attached to the building that we worked at. So Jackie calls me up. She's got a flat tire. Can I come pick her up? So I go and pick her up.
Naturally.
And she lives, about 25 minutes away from here. Pick her up. Well, now I'm late going to work, right? No. My dad went ballistic because we had the company truck. He needed it to go pick up something. So he fired me. And Terry had the day off, and he fired Terry too.
Why did he say fired Terry?
I don't know. To this day, we still don't know. So
it's a mystery.
So yeah. So it was like I called Terry. And I was like, "Hey, Dad just fired me," and he said, "You're fired too." I was like, "Can you come pick me up?" Because I didn't have the company truck, so she came and picked me up, and then he wrote us this real long letter. He didn't even have a talk with us. He wrote this real long letter.
And it was a handwritten letter? Because back then it was letters.
Yeah, it was handwritten. And he used these words.
Now it would be a text or email, but that doesn't happen anymore.
He uses words that are ridiculous in there too. And you're like, what is this?
You wish you still had a letter? I bet you do.
Yeah, I might somewhere's in the house. I don't know. Got
Might be something you might want to find.
Yeah, but you know, it was funny. But I mean, we do act irrational when we get mad. I mean,
oh, 100%.
You've seen me act irrational.
We just had a conversation about you being irrational when you're mad.
Why you got?
Everybody does. No, so for me, I get that one moment of anger. It's a whole other conversation. That we can.
This is another Keepin' It Real.
Mark it up for another Keepin' It Real. But I'll have that moment. It's like when somebody slapped. Like my brother used to always slap me in the back of the head or flick my ear when I was growing up.
Oh.
Both of those things will send me into an instantaneous rage.
Oh, especially flicking the ear.
For about a second and a half. If I have, there's sometimes I have time to do something in that second and a half that I will regret. Usually I calm down right away.
Right.
And it is what it is. But I mean, you get that anger. You never. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to handle it.
Yeah, and he, you know, he had a legitimate gripe, but he never did tell us that he needed the truck at a certain time.
Exactly.
That would have been nice to know.
Exactly.
Because then I said, Jackie, you're out. Yeah.
That's simple.
I'm not getting fired for you.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't know you got fired, but you just can't help. Dad needs a truck.
Yeah. So.
And cell phones weren't a thing back then either. So you couldn't even call your dad. Like, hey, is it cool if I pick up Jackie?
Right.
He'd be like, no, I need your truck.
But see, I was young and I didn't even care.
Yeah, no.
I didn't care.
When you're young, you have blinders on.
Yeah. I didn't care that I got fired. I knew that I could find another job. Blah blah blah.
But you didn't.
I didn't. No.
So my story was, I got laid off. I've never been fired. She got laid off one time. And I was selling insurance, and my wife, or sorry, my wife then, she was working for the same company. Okay. Oh no, I'm sorry, she wasn't, but she recently left. But everybody was texting her saying, hey, they're laying people off today. I didn't go until 11. So I went in there knowing they're laying people off. I worked for AIG, and I remember back in the day, AIG got bailed out by the government, and everything went, they went down flat bad. Like, there was news trucks out in front of our office. It was bad. So I go into work. And my boss, the main manager, is standing outside, and I'm the only person that comes in 11. I'm one of two people that come in 11. So I know there's a 50-50 shot that I'm getting escorted to HR to get let go right away. And I just recently proposed to Natalie. So I am 2 months, not even, like I'm probably like a month or two after I proposed to Natalie. To get married, obviously, not proposed to, you know. Whatever. I get laid off. So we're planning a wedding, I get laid off. Nat got laid off at the same time. We actually were both working for the company, so we both got laid off at the same time. Trying to play, it was very stressful, but ended up being. Looking back on it, here's this. I think the biggest thing to take away from this, dude. Sonoda, right? The biggest thing to take away from it is when you look back on it, like those 2 years that I had, because I went 2 years without having a job.
Right.
Were the greatest 2 years of my life, my adult life, other than having kids. But because I had time to do stuff. I worked side jobs. I worked a whole bunch of jobs that I actually enjoyed doing. I cooked. I bartended. I pretty much worked for Kavanaugh the entire time. But I made enough money where we made ends meet, and she was doing side jobs. It wasn't a full-time job. No, we didn't have benefits. We didn't need them back then.
Right.
And we paid for a wedding. Had a great wedding. It all happened.
Right.
And then I came back from my honeymoon and started a new job 2 weeks later. Like it literally worked out that way. Or no, not 2 years, 1 year.
The window.
Yeah.
You looked off away from the door.
100%. Yeah. And then I got a job back actually working for the same company.
Yeah.
Went back to the same company a year later.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like you have. I think in life you always have a choice. You have a choice to look at all the negative things, or you can look over here at the possible positive things. You know that are there. There's a lot of opportunities out there for jobs, especially now, right? You know, places are giving you bonuses just to sign up.
Yeah, Amazon's a good one. I mean, but you know, it's so. I think just in life in general, like it's what you make out of it, right? I know it's a crappy situation. I'm not trying to downplay getting laid off. It's not a crappy situation, right? It sucks. Hopefully you got some severance.
No, it is a crappy situation. You said it's not a crappy situation. It is.
Oh, it is a crappy situation.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's not like I'm saying it's not.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I did a double negative, which equals a positive.
Right. Well, it's good to stay positive. That's our whole thing.
Yeah, be positive. I think that's with anything, right? If you can look at things one of two ways. If you look at it one way, chances are, and it's not always easy. I'm not saying that it's easy to do that, but continue down that path. Things are going to work out. Like what seems like is a big, huge deal today won't be. I mean, think about all the big things in your life growing up, and looking back at it now that you're older.
And this is one of the things that I think Joe just got a hold of me the other day and said, "Yo, we should do Keepin' It Reals on adults."
Oh yeah, this is
talking about.
You know what? That's a great point. We'll say that for next time.
And this is a circumstance where we can actually give advice because we're older.
Yeah,
some
and we've
are
been
older
through
than others. But it does give you a little bit of insight, like how would we deal with it, as opposed to like what you're going through now. And one of the things I have to say is that what we're saying is stay positive. Don't dwell on the negative of the situation. Try to look at the positive. We're not saying it doesn't suck. We know it sucks.
And it's hard to be positive.
And you can't see, when you're there, you're staring at that door, you can't see the window.
Yeah.
But the window might be just there if you just turn.
A little bit. You just change your perspective a little bit.
And it always takes effort. If you ever notice, it's like with anything, it's like it takes movement by you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I think you might be pleasantly surprised at the outcome. Not at that, maybe at that time, but
when you look back on it. I mean, I know I'm looking back at my crap situation and it was awesome, right? Also, in this situation, look towards your friends and talk to them because they're going to give you a point of perspective that you don't have because you're in the alleyway.
Right.
They might say, like, I'm talking to Larry about that situation. Larry said, look, there's a window over there. Sometimes it takes your friend showing you there's a window over there to go through that window because
sure,
you can't do it on your own. Depend on the people that you have surrounding you, and surround yourself with good people.
Like Joe could, for instance, like just say Joe said to me, dude, I just got laid off from my job, man. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, and all of a sudden, you know, I was just talking to this dude I know. FedEx is hiring right now for $30 to $50 an hour.
Right.
Why don't you go apply? He applies and gets a job, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Wow, dude!"
Yep.
And he never knew that. He didn't. You know, I just had to. So talk, that's what he's saying. Talk.
Yeah, talk to people. Don't hold it in. It's not. It's not never gonna do any good to hold it in.
Right.
And the more you get it out, you'll get different perspectives. You'll be more positive. And I think that's what we're getting.
Yeah. So guys, wow, we could go on this topic for
forever,
quite some
for
time.
like 4 hours.
But it's like if you want,
sit back and relax. We have a long video ahead of us.
But if you want, like,
this is the intro.
We're old.
We are.
And we do have life experience with some things. We don't know everything. We don't pretend to know everything. We can just give our opinions on a lot of this stuff. But guys, if you want to hear more stuff, if you have a topic that, you know, I think it'd be great for you guys to talk about this, hit us up in the comment section.
Or even like questions. If we get like 5 or 6 little quick hitters in the comments, we can do a video just answering, going over those things. Like I feel like that anything you guys need advice on, like, ask us.
Yeah, and maybe we can help. Maybe we can't.
But whatever we do, we'll give you a different perspective. So it might say, well, I'm glad I'm not doing what they said. I'm glad I'm sticking to my guns.
Right.
But it still gives you a different perspective. And that's, in life, I think perspective is the biggest thing.
Exactly. Because, guys, we care about you guys.
We do.
If you like this kind of content, hit us up, subscribe, hit us up in the comment section.
Hit the notification button.
Hit that notification button.
I would
hit
like
that
if
like
you had
button.
an umbrella that worked.
Yeah.
I'm very hot right now.
I feel like I need a jacket over here because it's like I'm half cold and half...
I'm fully... I feel like I got sunburned. I feel like I'm going to have a tan line now from my jacket. Like, it's cold out when I left my house.
Well, you should have said something. We could have told it.
You can't see that I'm in the sun? It's all about perspective, Larry.
Well, guys, until next time, grab yourself something cold to drink, put your feet up and relax. We'll meet you at the lounge.